Today I'm going to show you how to make this delicious Bosnian dessert. It's called Ledene Kocke and it's so good. It's amazing. It's really sweet, so if you have a sweet tooth, this is just an amazing recipe. And yeah, I hope you like it. You're going to start off by adding 5 eggs. You want to separate them and you want to add the egg whites into a mixing bowl with about 100 grams of sugar. And then you want to whip that up until it is nice and creamy. And then when it kind of looks like this, you want to add in your egg yolks that you cracked up before. And you want to beat it again for a few minutes. And it should kind of look like this. And then you want to sift in your flour and your baking cacao. And then you want to kind of use this kind of motion. It's like a figure 8. Yeah, make sure you don't beat out too much air. But yeah, this is what you should do. And then you want to preheat your oven to about 180 degrees Celsius. And I'm using just this contraption that I have here. But if you have a baking pan that is about the size 35 to 25, that would be way better, but you're going to see in a second why. And then you want to bake this at 180 degrees for about 15 minutes and let it cool down. And during this time, you're going to make the syrup. You're going to add about 200 grams of sugar and 250 grams of water to a little pot. And then you want to bring this to a boil. And as soon as it boils, you want to let it simmer for about 10 minutes. And yeah, I kind of make this contraption just because I didn't have a pan that was the size. And yeah, then you want to make like tiny little holes. You could also use a toothpick, just so the syrup gets like really soaked into the sponge cake. And yeah, then just pour over the syrup. And don't worry, it's gonna get soaked up, all of it, don't worry. And yeah, it's very sweet. It's just Balkan desserts, in general, very sweet. And then I covered it with a towel just so it keeps its moisture. Then in a bowl, you want to add about 75 grams of flour and 75 grams of cornstarch. And then to a pot, you're going to add your 200 grams of sugar and about 3/4 of 1 liter of milk, and the rest of it you can add in your cornstarch flour mixture. Oh, I also added a little bit of vanilla. Usually it's with like a mint flavor extract. I just really think the taste's so fake, so I didn't do that. But I mean, add it if you like mint extract. Then you want to bring the milk to a boil and add in your cornstarch slurry, and definitely use a bigger pot than I did, but I tried. And then you're just gonna whisk it on medium to low heat until it's kind of like a pudding consistency. Add it to a bowl. Make sure you add a plastic foil on top so it doesn't form a skin. And then you want to let this cool down completely. To like really make it really smooth, you could also use an immersion blender, but I mean, I didn't do that. Then in your mixer, add in your 250 grams of butter. It should be soft, room temperature. And then add spoon-wise your pudding. And in the end, it kind of look like this. And yeah, this is what your sponge cake looks like after it's soaked up all of the syrup. and then you're gonna add your cream. As you can see, it could be way more smoother if you use an immersion blender, but honestly I was a bit too lazy. And then you just want to spread it around with a spatula. Just make sure you get it everywhere. And then I tap it a bit to get out all of the air bubbles. I'm gonna let this cool again. And then I'm using a water boil method here. I'm gonna put 180 grams of dark chocolate and about 80 grams of heavy cream. And yeah, I'm just gonna heat it up over a water bath. And it should look like this, nice and shiny. And then you wanna spread this on your cooled down cream. And then spread it around again with a spatula. Be really careful here because you could like puncture the cream. And I kind of just made like this zigzag motion, but I mean you don't have to. It just looks a bit more prettier. And then you want to use a knife. I just made it hot with some hot water, so it cuts really easy through the chocolate, and you're gonna cut your lines. And I would always recommend having a kitchen towel on hand so you can wipe off the excess so it looks nice and clean. And then I take it out of my baking form, and yeah, this is what they look like. They taste best right out of the fridge and they just taste amazing. Try it.